Are you ready? Did you light the candle? Okay, let's start the ritual. Welcome to Intuitively Wild, the podcast. I'm your host, Rachel. This is a space where truth gets its voice back because shame loses its power when we speak to it. Here, we don't skip the hard parts. We sit with them and we learn to hold ourselves inside them. This podcast is ritual in audio form, a way for us to bring intention and intuition back into our everyday. Let's dig into our roots and go deep. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our monthly ritual of sitting down to reflect on the month that has passed and set intentions for the month to come. I am back with my part-time co-host, my mom, and we're going to go through our usual structure and talk about our reflections and intentions. So, July, we're starting with, I'm gonna mess up the order. I wish I had it written down. One thing
Something,
we learned from July. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
whichever. I'm happy to go.
You go.
I learned something that I knew, but that I was reminded almost every day in July, and that is the power of nature. The power of nature to heal and the power of nature to bring us to our knees. And I can elaborate more about that, but July was all about really, really connecting to nature.
Mm.
Um, I mean, we had a very challenging month in these parts. Um, we had dangerously high heat. We had dangerous air quality. There were life-threatening tornadoes, not in our immediate environment, but in most of the country, many parts of the country. In New York City, in the area that I live in, there's an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease that's based on environmental toxins. There is a parasite invading our fruits and vegetables that is making a lot of people sick. And there was one other thing. So all of that, and then at the same time, I'm looking around right now. I'm in my home in Westchester, and the garden's never been as vibrant and lush. And Rachel knows I have a little bit of a fear of bees. I'm allergic to stings, but not by bumblebees, but I fear them too. And I learned that I so appreciate them and I love observing them and watching their magic. So very dichotomous, but powerful, and really underscores the importance of remembering and honoring our interconnection with Mother Nature.
Mm. Yeah, and how Mother Nature is trying to talk to us and asking us to listen, make changes, and be aware that there are things going on that we need to take action on
Yeah,
and to be present, enjoy the
I was
beauty
just
of
going to
them.
say, and it really challenged my daily practice of mindfulness. It really challenged it, and it was required in to be in full expression.
Mhm. Wonderful. Well, I learned that, let's see, what did I learn? Trying to think of like a general, I think I learned that like life is messy, and the more you put yourself out in the world, the messier it's going to be. And the more you like the harder, and I think in the past I let that lead me to close off from the world and create this containment for myself of like I there'll be less mess because like I stick to this routine. I do things by myself. Like there was just like less ways that life could interfere or that like I could be witnessed in the mess.
Right. Right.
And I that's not my life anymore. And so I'm taking a lot of risks. I'm really putting myself out there and being very seen in my, obviously there's varying degrees of being seen, but um, yeah, just life is messy and at the same time, like whatever. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. And I feel like the more I put myself out there and the more I make mistakes or be seen trying and failing or for lack of a better word falling or things not going how I want them to or just I mean I'm still it still makes me very anxious and uncomfortable and insecurities can come up, but the more I'm also like, you know what, I'm just doing like whatever, I'm just doing it, like going after my dreams and trying is more important to me than creating like staying keeping like an illusion of perfection, I
right.
guess.
Because it sounds like, I mean, I don't know if this is your experience, but life is messy, and when you allow yourself to, be part of that, I mean, that's where the growth happens, don't you feel?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there's always growth happening, but yeah, more growth and more quickly and in different ways happens when you let it be messy. Like if you just stay in a closed room with the door locked, like you'll still grow and things can still happen, but only in a very specific kind of way, you
A
know?
smaller world, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a smaller experience. The mess allows for, I think, just surprises, of all kinds.
indeed. Okay, what is one thing you appreciate about yourself from July?
I think I appreciate that so continuing on this theme of some of these challenging natural disasters that, because they impacted everybody. I mean, not, I'm very grateful that it didn't devastate me, but it was something that invaded decisions I make every day about my life and created anxiety. It revved up my anxiety about feeling somewhat out of control. And what I appreciate in myself is that I didn't get totally swept away by that. I allowed myself to feel it, but then um, to really work hard on mindfulness practices, which basically just means, sort of like grounding into the present, saying, in this moment, I am safe. In this moment, I have choices to make that there are no guarantees, but that can optimize the chances that I won't get sick.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate that I allowed myself to work with the anxiety and not get overwhelmed uh, or flooded, to use an environmental term.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine's kind of similar, actually. I think that what I appreciate about myself is I definitely have gotten overwhelmed and emotional and had spirals this month, but I don't think I allowed that to keep me stuck or to change how I showed up. Like, I think I still took the action and did the things I needed to do, even if it was uncomfortable or scary. And I feel like I tried very hard not to stay just in the rumination or the self criticism for too long.
Yeah,
I mean, you'd be the best test judge of
absolutely
that,
did.
but
I recognize that repeatedly this month. It was a challenging month, and you know, I was there. It was very obvious that your determination and to move one foot in front of the other with but, with a lot of confidence in the face of a lot of challenge. It was really, you know, something to be acknowledged and to appreciate, to be proud of.
All right. Um, okay. What is something you are grateful for from July?
So I'm grateful for the fact that I and my loved ones did remain safe during some of these, really aggressive expressions of nature. And then some of it is just the luck of where you find yourself. Some of it is based on decisions you make, being very thoughtful, but luck plays a role. And I'm grateful that um, that we are that we remained intact.
Mm. I am grateful for, I think I also had a lot of really special moments. I think what can be challenging is that the harder, messy moments feel like they kind of bleed out and like impact and linger and then the sweet moments are like,
Mm.
moments and then they move on. Which I guess not just because of how I focus on them, which yes, but also just because of how they impact my life. But I'm very grateful for some of the really sweet moments I had this month, like being able to spend time as a family together over 4th of July weekend, some really special moments at Intuitively Wild with community members and just feeling like people are becoming really dear friends and um, feeling supported by certain people. And yeah, there were just some moments which happened almost daily for the most part. They just like felt less large. But yeah, I'm very grateful for those moments and
You
those
make a
people.
really good point about, I'm sort of encumbered by all I was talking about with nature, but when you talked about our family getting together, um, that was a really special time. And I'm really grateful for that, missing a couple of key family members who were unable to join us, but just seeing generations of our family from the very, very young to the very, very old, um, be together in,
Yeah,
in
my brother has just had first, I mean, he's his first baby, which has made me an aunt, and she's
actually, the 25th
5 months.
of July is her 6-month birthday.
Anyway, she was around 5 months at the time when we saw her 4th of July. And so, um, she was there. Obviously, my brother and sister-in-law were there. My mom was there, and then my grandma, so her great grandma was there. So, um, yeah, it was special.
It was very special.
Okay. What are you releasing from July?
Well, sorry for this through line of
No?
I think the parasite was the thing that impacted my life, you know, every time I sat down to eat. So because, yeah, it just, is something that um I still fear, and I need to release the residual fear about the contamination of food because
Imagine thinking that every single food you eat is going to kill you every day, every time you sit down. It's an eating disorder. Anyway,
that's
keep going.
that's a pretty awful thought,
Yeah, I felt that way in the past.
and that must have been
Yeah, no,
absolutely
I'm not
torture.
trying to make this about you, Mrs. I'm just like, giving a
Yeah,
little.
no, I mean, it's I think it's a
That's
good
just what came into my mind.
conversation and probably a really important one. Like you stopped me in my tracks because that's kind of, you know, anyway, we can talk about our relationships with food, and for me,
That's not
who
what we've talked about. That's not what this is about. That's just,
no, it's not,
just,
but it made it laborious. It made it something scary and dangerous rather than something joyful and nourishing. So I want to release that and try to get back to, with caution, but uh, get back to not fearing it. And so that's what I want to release.
mm-hmm,
Fear.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Um, I think I'm releasing. I mean, I think there's some specific situations that I need to release that showed up. It's all, most of it's pretty much related to the business in some capacity. Um, or I guess there are personal things too, but the it's still
Those two
somehow,
seem to be interconnected.
yeah,
Yeah.
for me, personal and professional are very connected. There's really nothing in my life that's not in some capacity for the most part. So yeah, there are some specific situations that really got to me in July that I have to release. Um, and yeah, allow myself to move on from and not give any more attention or just to give space and kind of see how they unfold. And I'm also releasing, I guess, my like judgment towards myself of not having things figured out or like not, being seen in the mess, just like letting that go. So.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything? Did I miss a category?
Nope.
Okay. What are your intentions for August?
Mm. So we happen to have a few really fun excursions planned
You
to
do.
just get a little bit of a change. We're nothing far away, but still, I think significant change of environment that we'll be able to share together with your dad. And I'm really looking forward to them. And my intention is to be really present uh, during that time. I always try to be present, but really sort of make a separation between routine life, some of the routines that I want to kind of take a break from, and just fully embrace time together in this, change of scenery. So I'm really, really excited for that.
Yeah, so am I. I think I feel like this summer hasn't fully felt like summer energy for me. Um, Mainly because I've been so focused on the business. It's just been a different kind of summer. And also when I'm working, like I'm planning the schedule for the rest of the year. So I honestly like don't even know what month it is because I'm talking about, events that are happening in September, October, November. So whatever. But yeah, I feel like I haven't been able to fully tap into the summer energy that in the past really sustained me. And also, this is the longest I've gone without traveling, and I'm definitely feeling it.
Mhm.
And so me and my parents and I are taking a short trip. I won't be missing any work for these. For me, I'll be going like Monday night to Thursday morning, I'm pretty sure. And my weekends are Tuesday, Wednesday. So, but I think it'll be really, really good to try, as like you were saying, to like be in that energy and be present and let
Yes.
it be like a different environment, like let it be a different energy than our day to day. So we're taking a trip to Cape Cod, which I'm so excited about. And this trip would not, I mean, this almost, if it wasn't for me, we wouldn't be taking this trip. I think it's a very important trip. I'm very excited.
I think you're right.
Just for us all, like I think all three of us, maybe even, I mean, in different, I was going to say maybe even more so my dad and I, but I don't think that, all three of us in different ways, I think could use
Yes.
a little summertime energy trip.
Hmm.
And then we're taking a trip to the Berkshires, which my parents invited me on because they're going to see a show,
Hmm.
a
A
play.
show and a concert, and you're coming
Yeah.
to the concert.
Yeah, yeah, they booked tickets to a show and a concert and then invited me to the concert. We're going to see Brandy Carlisle, so that will be fun.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about those two trips and just in general to try to tap into that summertime energy. I think is my intention for August. And on an even larger scale or more general note, our theme on Intuitive Wild for August is grounded confidence, which is something I've talked about for a while because it's something I try to tap into every single moment. And so I think that's also my intention for August is to really lean into that grounded confidence, which for me just is like this true, pure hearted confidence that comes from knowing who you are and accepting who you are and showing up sure of yourself and listening to yourself and just really and also like deeply connected to nature and like spirit and um, how that guides you. So that's my overarching intention for August.
Right. Yeah. No, it's great.
And do we want to quickly do what we did last month and share some book, movie, song recs or any other recommendations?
Oh,
Some
sure.
some
Mm,
favorite things from July?
Sure. Well, a couple of books you and I both read
Yes.
that I thoroughly enjoyed. One was Theo of Golden, which I understand is somewhat polarizing, but I
I don't think it's polarizing,
truly,
but
I truly loved it. What I loved even more, and both these books Rachel read before me and thought I would like, and she was right. And this next one, Whistler by Ann Patchett, who's one of my favorite novelists anyway, I just absolutely fell in love with that book.
yeah,
So
Whistler's
those were my
Whistler's
two reading highlights so far.
mhm.
How about you?
Yeah, I had read Theo of Golden a couple months ago, but I read Whistler this month as well, which was really good. And then we talked about this
Oh
in
yeah,
a other podcast that will come out. I have my Goodreads, that's what I'm getting at. Um, Love
yes,
Finally. We
a
did like
memoir,
a
not a
whole that yeah,
novel.
that was a memoir. We did
Yeah,
like a whole book podcast on that. And then I
that's
read
right.
a couple of summer books, and some of them were like, whatever. Or
Beach reads, beach reads.
Um, yeah, like you don't really need to read them, but I'm trying to see if there's any I could
Those can be
recommend.
really. I mean,
No, some
they're
of
not
them I like
very
really
long.
thoroughly
Sometimes they're
enjoy.
really
Like the one
good.
I recommended last month, I like really loved. Um, I
Remind
would,
me, like that. Do you remember which one that was?
yeah, it's called Phoebe Berman's Gonna Lose It.
Okay,
It's really good. Um, and I would say maybe let me try to pick one from the like five I read. Um, I guess I'll go Trope Sick by Lauren Oakey. I
okay.
mean, you're reading it for a specific energy, but I did, out of the other ones I read, that was probably my favorite. Okay, what about books or shows or movies? Any recommendations, Mom?
Been hard because I haven't really found a show I loved or a movie. I haven't seen many movies, mostly because there hasn't been anything that has compelled me.
I'm
I'm
trying to
trying to think
think.
of any shows.
Yeah, I've been kind of disappointed as well. I'm trying to think if there's any, like I've watched some things and they've been fine, but I can't really think of any that I really want to
Yeah,
recommend. I'm trying to think of.
I'm waiting in September. Some of my favorite shows that I've been watching for a while are coming back. Number one on that list, and I'll talk about it as we get to that, is called Slow Horses.
Hmm.
So I'm just counting the days because that show I love. Oh, Dad and I started watching a show from 20 years ago called The Wire. It it was on for a long time, and I think there may even be like a reboot of it, but we started season one, episode one from 2002. We had heard really good things about it. Takes place in Baltimore, where your brother lives. And it is very good. So there's that.
do feel like there's probably one show I watched that I really liked, but I can't think of it, so I guess it wasn't that
So it's not
good.
that memorable. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and the music, I mean, I always have. Well, for me, Gracie Abrams' new album came out this month, and she's one of my top all-time favorite artists. So really love her album. Let's see what else. Any recommendations you have,
Well,
Mom?
I'm going to say this. You have introduced me to Gracie Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. You have introduced me to Gracie Abrams, and I've been enjoying learning about, listening to her music. So that's something new. Um,
Oh, I love country music. And there's this new artist, or new to me, but I do think she's fairly new. Anyway, she had I don't know if it's an EP or her first album. It's short, but Stella Lefty had some songs come out, and they're good summer energy country songs, and I've been really into that as well. Different energy from Gracie Abrams, so it's kind of balances each other out.
that's wonderful. Just a word about music, that I want to throw out there. So, um, Rachel's other brother, who lives in LA, Adam, and I share a podcast. It's a music podcast called Hit Parade. And I just want to give a shout out to it because it's a fascinating look into music trivia, in particular, how certain songs become, you know, hits on, number one or in the top 10. And, if for people who are really interested in music trivia, and this is something that I love sharing with Rachel's brother Adam. We listen, and then his breadth of knowledge far exceeds mine, but it's a lot of fun. And so sometimes you go back into genres from decades ago, but learn new things about them. So anyway, it's called Hit Parade. It's a great podcast. Um, so I wanted to share that.
Nice. Yeah, I was trying to think of any podcasts I would recommend, but um, I'll leave that for now. And
Great.
then I guess I'll just say some specific favorites from Intuitively Wild. One, I think my favorite drink from this was my first month making my homemade chai latte.
Delicious.
Very into
Can
that.
vouch for that.
I would say my favorite event of the month. I mean, that's really hard for me to say. I think there were like I think just every any I like the I think just the community I see growing is really special to me, and people who have been coming more regularly, um, and also like some of the people I've been able to collaborate with more consistently, like just that like the growing and the consistency
Mm,
of certain things has been really special. Um, yeah, is there anything else I should add?
Been really exciting to see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, we'll leave it at that. Anything else you
yeah,
want to add before we sign off, Mom?
no.
Okay.
Hope everybody has a happy August.
Yeah, I'm excited for August. I think it's going to be an interesting month. And it is this August 1st is Lunisod, which is the moment in between the summer solstice and the autumn equinox. So it is this kind of like transition in between moment, which I think those are so important because we don't just go from like peak summer energy to fall. Like there is this transition. And I think our bodies and our brains need that transition. And honestly, I think this is one of my favorite times of the year, that when summer is like a little bit softer and grounding, and we're about to enter fall, but like we're still in that like
Yeah.
summer fun. So yeah, so I think August is that little in between transition. Um, and I think that energy will be really nice to tap into. So I'm excited about that. And if you're in the area, we will be having an August or a Lunisod ceremony. So on August 1st. So um,
Excited for that too.
and obviously, we have ceremonies and offers pretty much every day. So if you are around or going to be in upstate New York, check out our schedule. And I hope to see everyone there. And if not, I'd love to hear from you anyway. So, okay, that's all for now. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Intuitively Wild, the podcast. I hope it helped deepen your connection to yourself, sparked some insights, and inspired you to live intuitively wild. If you enjoyed this podcast, it would mean so much to me if you would share it with others and leave a rating and review. And please reach out to me. I would love to connect with you. I will see you next time for more magic.